So today I'm joined by longtime audit user Chris Long from Computer Troubleshooters. Thank you for coming on, Chris. And Chris is in North Phoenix. He's agreed to come on and share his experience using audit in his MSP. And now, after you watch this, if you're not yet an audit user, make sure to sign up for a 15-day free trial at auditforit.com. Try it for yourself. Chris is going to share his experience and what you can expect when you try audit. So to start off, Chris, can you give us an overview of how you're using audit in your MSP?
So we do it for proposals and for routine QBRs straight across the board. Anybody that we go initially with, we find that presenting them with the color graphic, the red, green, yellow format, nobody wants red, nobody wants yellow. And after we do our initial review, and we use other tools in order to provide input into it, like rapid fire tools and some of the on-site technical reviews and things, and we use all that to create the data in order to put the information into audIT. But by presenting it to prospective clients as part of the proposal package, we find that we have a higher closing rate because they look at it and they can see the color out of it. And I've had people get rated as low as 14, 15 out of it. And just having them look at that and watching their eyes open up going, okay, I knew we were bad, but holy cow, look at that. And it almost sells itself. At that point, half the objections are done, half the sales process is done. We're just negotiating on price. We've already done all the hard work. They agree that we're working with it. And then doing it on QBRs, quarterly, semi-annual, whatever the period is for that particular client, even yearly, the fact that we can present them in something that's quick and simple to review and look at it in a snapshot and see the improvements as they're going along, as they're making investments into their company, as they're spending money with IT, they can see that, yes, we are proceeding, we are growing. It's not just somebody saying, you're doing good. No, here it is graphical. It's quick, it's simple. The CEOs, the business owners love it, because they can see it, and inside of a minute, they fully understand what's going on. I see them look at the first page, and then they look through the last couple pages, and then the infographics, and then they set it aside because they've now made their decision.
Okay, how did your clients like audit when you introduced it in business reviews?
I find that the first QBR, when I first introduced it to people, I didn't sell anything. It was just, here's the information, here's the presentation, here's my validation for what I'm telling you. And they'd come back to me and they'd go, wow, you didn't sell me anything. You didn't even try to sell me anything. What's wrong with you? I says, that's not my style. That's not the way we do it. The second QBR, we came back with them and did the exact same process. And that kind of validated the first one. And we got a little bit out of it. But then that third one, I'd walk in the door, I'd hand them the sheet, and maybe there'd be an improvement or maybe there wouldn't be. They'd open up the conversation. Okay, the stuff that you talked about last time, let's do it. Problem solved. And it's primarily the audIT. Since we've been using it, we've increased our closure rate just automatically because it's quick, it's simple, it's easy for them. It's the language that they want to see.
So you shared a story that, I love this story. This is amazing. You made a sale with audit without even being there. Can you talk about that?
You guys have started doing some webinars. We've been attending on some of those. And the last one that I attended, there was a recommendation on the presentation, putting it all in a nice little packet with a spiral binder type setup. I've started doing that. First time ever. I've been doing this for 15 years. I had a very difficult time connecting with a particular client. I'd show up, he wasn't available, he had an emergency, couldn't schedule. He had a great gatekeeper, couldn't get past this guy. I'd walk in with just short of carrying a machine gun and a pair of bombs and nothing. Boy, you ain't getting past. It ain't going to happen. So it got to the point after 5 weeks of, hey, he called me. He said it was critical. He needed to work with it. I've got the presentation. I figured I've got nothing to lose. This is it. I'm never going to see this guy. We're not going to make any progress. So I left it for him in the spiral binders. And that first page was with audIT, and it showed right there on top where they were standing and where it was going through. And I figured, there'll be no contact. 3 days later, he called up and says, when can we sign an agreement with you guys? I sold an agreement without ever talking to the decision maker based upon the packet that I'd learned from you guys on one of your webinars, and with audIT being the lead in piece for it. So yeah, and not a huge one. I mean, it's only $1,200 a month right now, but we expect to see that triple here by the end of the year, by the end of next year.
And what kind of results have you seen with audIT?
Since we've been using audIT for the last couple of years, we've increased our monthly revenue by 42% in 2 years. You know, we had decent rates and we were doing semi-okay, but we really lit it up as soon as we started using audIT as part of the standard process to it. And I've even trained my other guys, some of my techs, to do it, that are beginning to get into presentations. And the 5 that have gone out so far, we've closed 4. And the 5th one, we're just waiting for January.
So you have a team. You're not the only one doing all of this, right? You're not doing the technical assessments and the audit. You may be doing bits and pieces, and your team may be doing bits and pieces, and your team may be doing the whole thing. So I want to explore a little bit more about how you're using audit with a team like yours.
Yeah, we've got 8 in the shop right now, and I've got 2 techs that are branching out in their responsibilities. They're becoming a little more account management type functionality. So instead of me going down to the client, here's the stranger coming in, oh, you're obviously trying to sell me something. Here's somebody who has regular contact with them. So I help create the package for it. We go through it so they understand it. They go in and present it because it's a known face. They're comfortable talking to that person that they see quite often. And the recommendations that were coming through are pretty much being rubber stamped. So it works out pretty good.
Now, one big question we get is about automation. There's this kind of thinking that everything needs to be push button easy, and audit does require you to slow it down a little and analyze all your data, right? To create a bottom line statement like a doctor. As a longtime user of audit, I'd like to know if automation is something you would want.
So if everything was automated and you're able to pull it in from the information from Warranty Master and BrightGauge, Kaseya and Autotask and everything, if you could have all that information automatically pulled in at the click of a button, it would be very, very easy to become lackadaisical and just say, okay, I've got the data, and not really review it and go in from there. But having to filter that information through what you know about the client and how they want to hear it, or what their directions are, or what they've told you in the past, allows you to massage that information just a little bit better in order that the presentation is more meaningful towards the client or the prospect, as opposed to just, here, I'm just burping up an automation report. If you want to do that, all that other information has automation. Just print that stuff out and say, here you go, Merry Christmas, and let them peruse through it. But the audit is a summary, and it's a quick and easy presentation. So you've got to be able to filter it. You've got to be able to present it in the way that, and have the relevant information that they want, not just burping it from the automation. I find creating, well, I did a QBR this morning that came in late last night, and they needed to be able to do it today. So I was kind of rushed this morning, and I pulled up the existing audIT, copied it into the QBR from the baseline, did the edit for it, and printed it out. And it took me just under 10 minutes, and that includes printing 4 copies. It's quick, it's simple, it's painless. It's once you've done the first couple and you know the process, it's just click, 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 you're there, it's fast, it works.
So you had a little story about how to be the most expensive MSP and win the business anyway. Can you share your feedback on that?
We were in competition with 2 other firms. They were doing the typical, hey, we need 3 quotes in order to come in and do service for it. And I actually, after the fact, found a proposal from one of the other MSPs that I know was very close in the running, that we ended up beating out. Our proposal, they were quoting a little over $5,000 a month, and we closed them for about $6,500 a month out of it. Our services were fairly similar. It was pretty much an apples to apples. The closing comment from the owner of this very large company stated, "I like your presentation style. I understand it." And we led off with audIT. So ballpark, we picked up another $1,000, $1,500 a month because of the presentation style. So yeah, I would say we do have an increase. We are closing better.
And how does audit help you generate more MRR with business reviews?
Yeah. When we come back in for QBRs, at this point, in fact, just closed one today, a couple hours ago. Their statement was, "Okay, the stuff that you showed me previously, let's make it happen now." Oh, okay. Well, let's go through the report for today. I hadn't even sat down, and they just, we want to get better. We want to see what they see, the value. They see our value in a presentation style. It's quick and simple.
And what's your message to MSPs about audit? What would you say to your fellow MSPs about audit?
I wholeheartedly, I mean, I've swallowed the Kool-Aid, very obviously. We're part of Computer Troubleshooters. It's a worldwide franchise. We have our convention every year in North America. Last year, I was a strong proponent for you guys. This year, I did an entire session against all the other computer troubleshooters within North America, and audit was a major component of that presentation on how to increase MRR and how to win clients. If you can't afford the $199, which I believe is the current price that we're paying now, if you really can't afford that, you've got other problems that need to be addressed first. I mean, don't go to McDonald's for a month. You paid for it. But you're going to make so much more out of it. It's worth doing. It's worth doing. It will show increases. I can't talk more than that. I mean, it's just a real simplistic, great product.
So I want to thank Chris for coming on with me and sharing his story. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. And this is really just one of many success stories from many MSPs all over the world now who are using audit today. If you're not an audit user, I urge you to head over to auditforit.com, sign up for our free 15-day trial. You can create as many audits in your 15-day trial as you'd like, run a few, get them in front of a prospect, get them in front of a client, do a business review on a current client, and you're going to very likely generate more revenue right out of the gate like many MSPs have done. If you have any questions, please email me at mike@auditforit.com or head over to our website. You can chat in at us. We would love to talk to you about what audit can do for your MSP.